Well, good afternoon on a Friday. It's almost the weekend. If you're planning to go out, please do not get drunk. Do not drive and drink at the same time, because we want to hear you guys listen to our show. And today is just a phenomenal thing. I am speaking to the legendary band from over across the Pacific in America called Pop Evil, and I'm speaking to the lead singer, Lee Kakaty. How you going, Lee?
How you doing, man? Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, man. And I've got to say, before I get into it, I have listened to the new album, thanks to the record label that has provided that for me. Outstanding album, mind you. And before we get into that, let's talk briefly about Pop Evil. You guys have broken into the US billboards on the two previous albums leading into this one. Also, in America on the radio, on the Rock Nation radios over there, the most requested song so far to be put on their set list is Footsteps, which is a featured single of this latest album. And also, down here in Australia, we want to get you guys to that next level, because you guys haven't basically took Australia by storm yet. So, are you glad that you're getting some recognition through the airwaves on your side of the woods? And secondly, how's it been going for this new album? You've been getting lots of positive reports from it so far.
Yeah, I mean, again, thank you so much. I mean, we're so excited to finally, get the word out there in Australia. I think we're finally getting to a position where we can get the band to finally cross the pond, so to speak, and get over there and rock. I know it's been a dream of ours since we started to get to Australia, and it just seems like it's just been, one letdown after another. Are we going to Australia this year? Maybe next year. Let's go next year. We're going. So it just felt like we were finally getting the runaround. But the success of our third album, Onyx, finally put us in a position to do the right things on this fourth album, which is the one coming out in August, up. And now finally the stars are aligning where it looks like we're hoping to get there, maybe by the end of the year, or if not, next year for sure. So, we feel very blessed and very grateful to finally be in a position to get your way. And also, doing the record this time around, we were having more fun. We got to be more experimental. I mean, obviously with Footsteps, I mean, the way that the fans have been, receiving the song. And again, we're still new to touring on this album. We started the tour of this album cycle started in Europe. We did all the big festivals there. I mean, again, this song's only been out for 5 weeks. So it's been overwhelming, the success of the song and the way the fans have gravitated to it. With only 5 weeks, I can only imagine as we start getting to week 10 or week 15 or 20, it's overwhelming.
And also, the way that the whole music business has changed over the last 20 years, especially in the mid-90s, where a lot of the mainstream record labels closed their shops, and for bands to get recognized now in the new millennium is to do a video on YouTube, and you guys got millions of likes and listens on YouTube as well. But just to get recognized, do you see nowadays it's a different shape shift, especially if you want to start now, for bands to get their name noticed? Because I know for a fact Pop Evil are not a one-hit wonder band. You guys have hit the Billboard charts. You're doing festivals over in Europe, over in America. You've got a couple coming up very shortly in America, might add you. But going back to the point, the way that the music business has changed with the record labels and bands to start up, to get recognized, do you see the social media and YouTube is a stepping stone for those bands to get their recognition?
Yeah, I mean, it's a different animal these days to being a rock band. I mean, I like to say it's kind of like working a 9-to-5 job. It's not as glamorous as it used to be 20 years ago. You know, I mean, if you could have one, like just like you say, the term one-hit wonder, I mean, I don't even think that exists. If you don't even have one hit, you don't even make it in this day and age. It almost, you could have one hit 20 years ago and you could be doing arenas. Where nowadays, if you don't have more than one hit, you don't even make it past the first year. You know, so it's harder and harder from that aspect. But it's easier in a way that, you know, social media has definitely changed the landscape where you can be more interactive with your fans. I mean, for example, you know, we just played a show here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania tonight. I'm on social media reading what the fans are saying. What do they want? What are the fans doing that kind of change the way bands kind of you know, perform? Maybe some of the things I read on social media. Hey, you know, did they play the song, or how come they didn't play this song last night? No, you know, now we want to add that song to the set tomorrow. You know, so it's so many different ways where the fans have more of an impact than they did 20 years ago. So in that aspect, it's better. You know, I love the fact that of this lifestyle that is being in a rock band, we're able to, you know, have a hands-on relationship with our fans. You know, it's so awesome to be able to, you know, release Footsteps and drop a lyric video on the page, or you drop a video on YouTube, and you can just see, you know, what people are thinking. You can interact, you can respond back, and it's
yeah.
I think it's very unique in that aspect. You know, so for that, I think it is what you make it.
Yeah, you just nailed on the head. I mean, I'm old school. I always used to turn on the TV and watch me music shows and see a new video clip coming out, or what they used to call, I think you guys still have it in America, the top 20 singles of the week. And normally, for the whole month, they're predominantly the same singles, but just in a different order. But nowadays on TV, especially here in Australia, we don't really get to see that unless you got cable TV, which is Foxtel. But
Right.
nowadays, if you want to see a band, say for instance Pop Evil, I just type in Pop Evil on YouTube, and boom, there's about 6 or 7, probably even more singles on YouTube, plus some fan camera shots as well. So if I want to explore bands or see bands that I don't see on my national TV, I just type in on YouTube and boom, there it is. And I think that's one of the positives, that if you want to do a history check on the band, YouTube is the way to go. But let's go back to the album.
Sure.
Up is going to be released here in Australia via E1 Music in August the 15th. No, the 21st, I should say, which is just around the corner, not long away. But I want to go on to some singles, especially Footsteps. Now, I just mentioned before, Footsteps is one of the songs that is requested a lot to play on American airwaves as we speak right now. But just go through the audience down here in Australia. How did Footsteps come about, and what's the story behind that single?
Yeah, I mean, it came about with you know, some experimentation. I mean, we knew this album, we really wanted to dive head first and do different things. There was no songs. I think we started the project January 1st, so there were no old songs that we brought. We knew we were going to start everything fresh. We didn't want the process to get stale, as we, you know, usually every album cycle lasts around 2 years. So right around that time, you get bored, you get a little tired, you're beat. So we wanted to be more creative for ourselves, to be, you know, let's give our fans more energy. So if we start fresh, I think it'll be more realistic. We can end fresh and end strong, you know. So that was kind of the mentality we had going in to do this record. We wanted to have more fun. We wanted to be more honest with ourselves and be more supportive with each other. With that, I just felt like there was this concept that was like, look, man, you know, let's look at life glass half empty, or glass half full rather than half empty. Everyone's kind of been healthy. We've all, you know, kind of been around long enough now, at least touring, where we've all kind of got to, you know, let our little party stages kind of come and go. Everyone's so serious about surviving and making sure that we can maintain some longevity at the format and you know, this genre. And it was so important to us that it just felt like one step at a time. Let's just push forward, man. Let's not look back. Let's just kind of go to where the grass is greener, man. Let's go higher. And that kind of mentality kind of led to, kind of a pulse heartbeat type of a musical theme. And with that, the lyrics just came pretty automatic, man. It just felt like there's always that one song on an album that kind of speaks that, it pulls at the heartstrings, and this was that one for us.
Yeah. One of my favorite singles off this album up is the song called Take It All. I believe, this is my only perspective here, that should have been in a Rocky movie or even the new boxing movie called Creed that does feature Sylvester Stallone in it as well. But Take It All, that is a real uplifting song for me, and I really do love that wholeheartedly.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I think you said it there, man. I mean, that song just feels like it gets back to even that question we were talking about earlier. It's just, anything's out there, man, if you just go get it. And it was just a cocky, fun way to say it. You know, it's just like, I'm coming, I'm going to take it all. I'm coming, I'm going to take it all. And it just seems like that's all you had to say in the chorus. And it's just, there's something so fun about that. You know, I got that fire way deep inside, burning in my eye. You know, it's like, it just kind of just came out. You know, it was like, if I look at, and again, I'm very sports driven, but it just seemed like, look, man, it's always against the world mentality that a lot of people feel. And, you know, if that's the case and we're all fighting to take care of our families and pay our bills, it just seemed like, well, hell, man, fuck it, I'm going to take it all. So that kind of swag that song has, and that cockiness, that aura, that thing that we all feel at times, I kind of wanted to use it as fuel and motivation to hopefully, you know, motivate those that like the song to kind of get up off their seat and go get it, man. The world is yours for the taking, that's for sure.
And by saying that, I put this song, Take It All, to Queen, I Want It All, because it does have that cockiness, but at the same time, you've got to grab it with two hands, because if you let go of it, someone else is going to take it away from you. So you want to take it all for Queen, I Want It All, and I Want It Now. I'll put those two songs side by side, and that would just set me off for the rest of the day, I reckon.
I love it.
But the question I want to ask now is, how was it like working with the producer, Adam Casper, who also worked with Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, and Foo Fighters for this album Up? How was it like working for him on this album?
Dude, it was amazing, man. He's so chill. He kept preaching actually that he wanted us to make our own record. You know, he wanted us to do what we wanted to do. He wanted to just enhance that. He wasn't trying to come in there and tell us what to do and, you know, we should do this. He was just really kind of gave us the confidence to just, you know, be creative with what we're already doing. And he wanted us to take, you know, kind of the things we've done, old school pop evil, and, you know, give it a healthy bit of steroids to take it to the next level, but still be open-minded for us to explore other ideas and explore other guitar tones. And obviously you'll hear that, you know, when you hear this album differently than our previous, that, you know, it's definitely a band coming of age, and Adam was definitely responsible. And I think his just calm, cool mentality, knowing there's a lot of pressure when you know that the guys work with Nirvana and Foo Fighters and Pearl Jam and the list goes on. You don't want to be a weak link to that. You know, you want to make sure that you bring your A game, and that alone, you know, definitely helped us step up. I think for us being from Michigan, you know, being all the way in Seattle out west was huge for us. You know, I mean, we went out there in January. Normally in Michigan, normally on our past records, we recorded in Chicago. So we're in lots and lots of cold weather and lots and lots of snow. So we substituted the snow for some rain. So we went out west to Seattle, and, you know, all we had was rain. So it was so much better to just see how beautiful the landscape is out there, and just get consumed in what is Seattle and the lifestyle, and so much different than what we grew up on. Just kind of, we had no distractions, no friends, no family, no one kind of throwing the rattlesnake at us to get us sidetracked. It was just all about, man, the music and making the best record we've ever made, and I think it paid off for us.
Yeah, and all credit towards you and to the producer and everyone that made this album sound so great. I just want to go back to the top of my question, especially the first question, especially with the Australia, to finally get to know Pop Evil, because we want to get you in the league of bands like Don't Sour and Five Finger Death Punch, Caesar, Godsmack, even now Disturbed. Because here in Australia, we're a bit, I don't know, tacky in different genres of music. If we like it, we'll run with it. And if it's not into our liking, we just put it on the back burner. And I think what it is, it's mainly the young kids now that are putting a lot of bands in pigeonholes and subgenering different criteria. The older audience, that can happen too. If it's not thrash metal, well, it's not metal. If it's not blah, 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 it's not metal or rock, so to speak. How do you find it for you guys trying to get that type of league to be recognised with here in Australia? Because I know when bands from Australia go overseas, they find it hard too to get recognised. Just want to ask, how do you plan on getting this down to Australia and getting it recognised? Do the commercial radios got to get onto your case, or is it the independent radio like our show to get the name out there?
Well, I mean, we try to, I guess it's kind of how we broke in the States, is kind of how we focus on it. We know that it's not going to happen overnight. I mean, we started here in the U.S. I remember our first tour, I had probably 10 or 20 people that would come out every night. It was never a lot. And then we just built on that. We grew. Obviously, we know, I'm sure Australia is very similar to other countries. The only way to really do it is you have to keep coming back. You can't just go and, wait 5 years and come back. I mean, like, people are people, and they want to see, if they start to fall in love with your band and they want to support you, they want you there. They want to see the support back. And that's, obviously it's a huge commitment, and it's one that we're willing to take. And, we want to start doing it the right way. And we know it's going to be one city, one fan at a time. And we're going to have to prove it live. Like, you're exactly right. I mean, if they're into our band, they're going to be there, and they're going to keep coming back. And they're going to tell their friends about it. And if they're not, they're going to put it on the back burner. So I think it's important first that, our schedule is been super swamped. I mean, it seems like we got new countries constantly now that we're finally starting to play. It's funny, because it felt like we were complaining for years that we finally wanted to break out and finally get a chance to play in other countries. And now it seems like now we're playing catch up, and it's all happening at once, which is great because, finally, we're in a position financially to be able to do that. But now it's you have to be responsible, and you have to go do it. So I know that it's something that we're hoping to really hopefully get there, again, within the year. If not, it's on the top of the list for next year. I mean, your bands have to make that sacrifice, and you have to go. And that's the first win. And once you do that, then you got to prove it. I mean, because, a fan that's spending their hard-earned money to go support and see a live band, it's all won or lost right there on the battlefield, which is the live show. And I'm sure you feel the same way. You've seen tons of bands you might have heard on the radio or on the internet, and then you went and saw them live, and they just didn't do it for you. So it's so important that once you create interest with your songs and with your music and albums, that once you really get a chance to play for people, that's when you really seal the deal and win them over. And that's how we've done it in the U.S. That's how we've started to do it now, as we've expanded our brand into other countries. And, Australia has been one that we've been waiting a long time to finally do. Obviously, it's not a country that's super close, so it's a little more costly from that aspect. So especially when American bands from the East Coast try to venture out to Australia, it's a little different ballgame. Obviously, there's a different, it's just a lot of different variables that go into it. So it's so important that you get your head straight, you get focused, and you bring your A game and get ready to rock. Because everything we've heard from bands that have played in Australia are just like the Australian rockers are so unbelievable, and they're so hungry for rock. So I mean, we've been like just anxious to finally get there. So I mean, it's just exciting to finally have the powers that be starting to work in that direction, and finally have pop people, head to Australia. It's a dream come true.
And I've got to say this: we are very lovable here as well. So that's a positive for us. We're so lovable here and respectable. But Lee, it's all the time we got. Lee, it's all the time we got for. I want to say this: Up will be in Australia via E1 Music in our stores. It's a new album by Pop Evil. Has got the feature single called Footsteps. Please get it, support it, and when they come to Australia, you'll hear it on Blood, Sweat and Metal. We'll post it up on our pages, on social media, Twitter. God name you, we'll post it out. And Lee, I'd love to see you guys down here, and I'll support it 100%, man.
Well, we'll do our best to get there sooner than later. I'll tell you that. I promise you that. So thanks so much for taking the time to support the band.
No worries. You have a great day, and we'll get back onto the show and we'll play a couple of singles for you. How's that?
Awesome, man. Thank you so much.
All right, then. Catch you later.
Yeah, talk soon.